So today, everyone, I am going to present to you our next lesson, which is data representation. Now, representation is essentially the next step after data collection. So our previous lesson is all about gathering the data the proper way because that is the most important part there. We need to have uh, proper usage and the type of data that we needed in order for us to be able to get the right and relevant information. The next step on this process is data presentation. This is how we try to present our data and show to others how did we gather the data, what is the relevant information on that data, what are the key points that needs to be understood in order for us to be able to present our data and our research accurately and correctly because it is it's kind of pointless not being able to having the correct information all of that but not being able to show or communicate that information. So it is vital as well to have the proper methods in presenting that data. Now, presentation of data meant that it is organization of information. So we're just trying to manage and array as well as present the data in a way that is easily understandable or easily understood by a person reading or analyzing our data. Measurements, numbers, names, and observation are all should be presented in either a textual, graphic, or tabular manner. So you have to essentially interpret the data that you have into something that is easily digestible. When I say easily digestible, that means that it could be understood by a person in a glance without studying the entire research, no? They don't need the entirety of the background of your information and knowledge in order for them to understand what is the point of that research that you have, what does your research data points meant. So those things are important so that you will be able to make sense of it. Therefore, we need to have a proper method in doing so, no? It is vital in the results of data gathering. As I've said earlier, it's kind of pointless to gather all of those relevant and accurate data then just, not being able to show anything at all because you don't have the proper method of doing that. Okay. So we have here is the first method, which is textual presentation. It is in paragraph form. Not only means it consists of words, but you can incorporate figures and numbers as well. But for the most part, the main advantage of textual presentation is that you can describe things. You can, they would be able to align themselves in your way of thinking because you are writing it in your perspective as well. So even if you are objective on your data, but your line of thinking and um, your manner of point of view is also important and would be able to you would be able to show to them how did you manage to be able to come across with the results that you have. Next is tabular presentation. So tabular presentation is data summarized using tables, commonly used on the frequency and percentage distribution. So we're trying to show to them what's the parts of your data, how much is one part of it, what's the highest, what is the lowest. So it gives you the rundown of things without too many words. Usually, when we're presenting our data in our results and discussion, it's usually both. You have a small paragraph form to basically explain your means and methods as well as the data that you have gathered, and then you have the table which summarizes everything you have said as well as gives you more information that is also relevant for your study. Well, so here's the example, a table that shows us the distribution of gender in population of 350 in Barrio Obrero. So you have here a rundown of just the male and female. So you have 200 male and 150 female, and you will be able to get the percentages as well. So that you'll be able to show to them the distribution of your entire population or your sample size for this matter. The next one is your graphical representation, provides a visual shorthand representation. So unlike the other two, it is less utilized in the paper itself, but it could be vital in your presentation as in your defense. So if you're presenting it in a defense or in a setting where you don't have a lot of word count, you don't have a lot of space, but you need to transmit or communicate information, you know, in a shortest manner as possible, then you will have graphical presentation. So basically, the main appeal of graphical presentation is that it gives you an infographic, basically. You will be able to communicate all of the information just at a glance. Essentially, that's the main advantage of it, no? At a glance, you'll be able to see what is the most important information. Of course, the context is lesser. The specificity of the data could be lost as well because it is on a graphic form. But because our mind is fine-tuned at, seeing patterns and figures, it is easier for people to be able to understand what you meant for your research. So it basically simplifies the process of analyzing, no? So it's also important for showing visually shows the growth or decline of the data trends. So essentially it gives you a lot at a glance, but it does not give you the entirety of the whole. So it is more ideal to be utilized on a presentation. There is three types of graph. So we have line graph, bar graph, pictograph, and pie chart. So I said here three because there is three graphs here and then a chart, no? So we have the pie chart, which is somewhat different between the others. The three shows you the trends, while the pie chart only shows you a segment or parts of a population or data set. So first one is line graph. It is the simplest one to make. You just having markers. The markers is the dots, and you connected dots through line segments, and you'll be able to see the trend whether it grows up or it declines. So it's pretty good at showing growth trends in a time scale. So, in a span of time, such and such, how much is the decline or growth of brand A? Then you'll be able to see another group of lines and dots that would represent group B. So that's very good at comparing trends and such. Bar graph uses rectangular bars, which in its length, the growth of the length of the bar graph or the bar, rectangular bar, will show you how much is the growth, decline of the data set. What You might think that there is a lot of similarities between line graph and bar graph, and that is true. What is the advantage of bar graph compared to line graph? It is much more visually clearer, as you can see. It does not give you the trend, but it gives you very clear comparisons. So if you have several subjects or items that you wanted to compare, this is the best graph that you can utilize to be able to clearly compare said growth or decline of said object because they would be side by side. So because of their side by side notice, you'll be able to see whether how much is the growth of this compared to this, such and such. No, so it's easier to be able to see things in that way. Next one is your pictograph. So pictograph is essentially you're just using again symbols and such to represent an object. So for instance, yeah, you can represent phones as number of sales of phones using a phone emoji, and half of the phone means half of a quantity of phones. So for instance, one phone symbol means 1,000 phones sold. So half of the icon of the phone represents half of 1,000, which is 500. And then a quarter of that phone emoji, right, the object, meant that there is one fourth of 1,000, which is going to be 250. So with that, you will be able to show really quickly how many sales of phones you have. Or in this case, we have here at our example, number of manpower. The number of manpower and their relative ages. And that is so easy to see. It's easy to organize and be able to catch your eyes as well. So pictograph it has a lot of advantages as well, which is it would be able to show you things very clearly when it comes to numbers or the amount, relative amount. I'm not saying specific or the specific quantity of the numbers of personnel, for instance. No, it would only be able to show you roughly how much is within one category. And as I have said earlier, it's easier to be able to parse the information at a glance compared to, say, your bar graph and your line graph, especially your line graph. Your line graph sometimes would look very complicated because, well, you're just connecting dots and lines. And if you have multiple lines and dots, it gets convoluted and it would be able to, like, you know, mess things around. So if you're trying to compare stuff, maybe go for bar graph. If you wanted to present your information in a way that is easily digestible, go for pictograph. But if you wanted to show all three at the same time, but for the most part you wanted to see the growth or trends of your data set, then line graph is the best because it does the jobs of the two as well, but the other two is better at a specific part of presenting your data. The next one is pie chart. It's not a graph because this one is utilized for dividing partitions and categorizing your data. So if you wanted to divide your data, go for a pie chart. So that would be all for data representation. But before we go, I will give you an example of your raw data. So here at your right side in your screen, that is what we call raw data. This is raw data. As you can see, there's barely anything here that you'll be able to understand what does this all mean. As you can see here. But this is the information that you'll be able to get in your data gathering, essentially. So you need to represent all of this raw data into something that is easily digestible. And as I have said earlier, when we started, that for the most part, we're going to use textual as well as tabular to represent our data because pictograph is not that advisable for a proper research, right? But it's better for presenting this research. So if you're presenting it on defense or if you have a limited manuscript, or limited slides, pictograph is better. But if you are just having it on your thesis or your research paper, better yet to have it on a textual data set. For instance, no? So if we convert all of this into an actual textual um textual presentation. So we are just explaining, say, the demographic of your research. So as you can see here, it is said here that the majority of the respondents are female, 63.5%. So so you, excuse me, sorry. So you could just like transmit the codes that you have here in order for you to translate it into the code for the gender, which is female, 63.5%, and the age range is 18 to 19. So majority of the respondents are in first year because of the age range as well as back up by the actual choice in the year level. So this is the main advantage of textual. It explains a lot of your other information that is not, it would not be highlighted by your table. So that's another data presentation that we use that is tabular presentation. So as you can see here, yes, it informs you all of the relevant information that is important that is been taken from the raw data, but it does not highlight to you which you wanted to look for, what's the relevance of this or to that, or what is your perspective and the line of thinking that you are going to head over when you are doing your research. So that's the reason why we are partnering textual presentation and your tabular presentation. Because with this two, you'll be able to have the complete picture. So that is how you do your tabular and your textual presentation. As you can see here. So all of the codes that we have here, we interpret it as average mean, and it's the standard deviation. And then we will get the total overall mean score, which will be essentially we will be able to gauge how, for instance, here, what is their level of what's the level of their classroom environment? How good is the quality of their classroom? So in this instance, 3.27, so we'll be able to see 3.27 is just average. So the average of the classroom environment is within average level. So that's how you interpret the data from the data that you collected into the data that you'll be able to present accurately and clearly. So with that, I would be able to end my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.